You can tell me anything.
Good afternoon and welcome to Straight Talk. I'm your host, Greg Colley, along with my co-host, Martin Aubrey. And you are tuning to Global 99.5 FM. I want to say good afternoon and welcome to all our listeners out there. We are broadcasting live on Global 99.5 FM from our studios located at Shirley Street and Elizabeth Avenue, downtown Nassau in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Today's show is being brought to you by Doc's Pharmacy, located Robertson Road, by Master Assist, located Village Road, by Nature's Gift Fresh Roasted Peanuts, located Market Street South, by Sammy's Chicken, 5 locations to choose from, by First Choice Appraisals and Sales, by Geneva Brass Seafood, located Eden Street off Fountain Road. Of course, you can participate in our show today. You can call us at telephone numbers 326-0271, 326-0271, or you can call us at 326-0272. That's 326-0272. You can also text us at 552-7902. That's 552-7902. We are streaming live at www.globalradio995fm.com. That's www.globalradio995fm.com. You can also watch us live in studio on Facebook. Just search for Global Radio 995 and like us on Facebook. Follow us and also send your comments. We will respond to your live comments right away. I want to say good afternoon to our producer and engineer, Nathan. My co-host, Martin Aubrey. Good afternoon, Martin. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon in the beautiful... You got your short pants, you got your trunks on today?
Yes, I do. And it's going to be another swimming day. Immediately following Straight Talk this afternoon because it's 91 degrees Fahrenheit. And I want to say good afternoon to you and good afternoon to Straight Talk this afternoon. Once again, if you ask me any questions that I can understand, I will give you the answers that you can trust. And one of the questions I want to put to you this afternoon is this. Can you trust the answers about the performance of the previous Christie administration as provided by former Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Public Works and Urban Renewal 2.0, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis? Can you trust his answers? Mr. Davis is like the Lone Ranger. He is the only one that I believe is capable of defending this government's performance because he was the number 2 man in the cabinet. He was the deputy. But Mr. Davis is telling us that he knew nothing about many things that transpired, especially with contracts, with private-public partnerships. He knew nothing. He's denying knowledge about the Jonathan Ash contracts, over $8 million that was paid out to one man. He's denying that there was any abuse of public funds. And I want to know from you, can you trust the answers that we are getting from the former Deputy Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis? Because he says he does not know what specific process resulted in one Jonathan Ash's selection to provide more than $8 million of cleanup services after Hurricane Matthew. And that former Labor and National Insurance Minister, Shane Gibson, who we were told was the Hurricane Czar, was head of the processes related to such matters. Mr. Davis told us yesterday that the first time he became aware of the matter was when it was raised in Parliament this week by Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis. He says, Mr. Davis, that is, none of that information came to his attention while he served as Minister of Works. However, he did say he was advised that Mr. Ash's contract award followed the usual procedures. Well, Mr. Davis's statement came shortly after Mr. Shane Gibson, the former Minister of Labor and National Insurance, Shane Gibson, he was asked just Wednesday of this week to give an insight into how contracts were awarded in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew. Mr. Gibson said those contracts were issued by the Ministry of Works and not by me, he says. Well, we recall that during his contribution to the budget debate on Tuesday, just a couple of days ago, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said Mr. Ash's request for payments was submitted through the Ministry of Works and the National Recovery Reconstruction Unit, which Mr. Davis and Mr. Shane Gibson is saying sits in the office of the Prime Minister. Well, Mr. Davis says the first time he heard about such things was when it was mentioned in the House of Assembly by Prime Minister Hubert Minnis. And what that does, it puts Progressive Liberal Party cabinet ministers, former cabinet ministers, at odds on how the cash was spent for the cleanup after the storm. Well, you would recall, like I say, it was only Tuesday of this week when the Prime Minister, Dr. Minnis, described the payments to Mr. Ash as shocking. On Wednesday, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Colin Higgs, well, he had something to say about questions a newspaper put to him about the matter. He's the Director of Public Works, so he should have some information. Higgs did not answer any calls. Then, additionally, Mr. Jack Thompson, the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, also declined comment on the matter. But prior to his current post as Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Jack Thompson, was the Permanent Secretary with responsibility for the National Emergency Management Agency. And he was based in the Office of the Prime Minister. Now, who knows where the payments initiated? Who was in charge of signing the checks? Well, a high-level source in the Ministry of Works, the Office of the Prime Minister, is where everything took place. Mr. Davis says the first time he found out what was going on was when he heard the information being released in the House of Assembly. Why was Mr. Davis kept out of the loop? Why was he ostracized? Was he being punished? What was going on? Well, we know some years ago, in the last Christie administration, Mr. Davis was expecting Mr. Christie to move on midway through the term. Mr. Christie changed his mind. Mr. Davis then told us that he was planning to challenge Mr. Christie for the leadership of the Progressive Liberal Party. Something happened. Mr. Christie, we are told, whispered to Mr. Davis and told him, if you should follow through with your challenge, I will fire you, and you will be history within the PLP. Well, Mr. Davis took a seat way in the back because the only person that spoke anything further about Mr. Davis's plans was his top supporter, Mr. Philip Galanis. And then quiet, because we heard rumblings coming from Mr. Fred Mitchell. We heard some rumblings coming from Mr. Obi Ruscombe. And all of a sudden, they all just became as quiet as the mouse in the church. But Mr. Galanis was still trying to prod Mr. Davis on. But something happened, and Mr. Davis said nothing further. And then out of the blue came Mr. Alfred Sayers, and he went all around the Bahamas trying to persuade stalwart councillors to help him remove Mr. Christie. But we found out later that Mr. Sayers was merely putting up a smoke screen because Mr. Christie was entrenched. And the people knew that the only person that could put up a challenge, serious challenge, against Mr. Christie's leadership at the PLP's convention would have been Mr. Philip Brave Davis. But as I said, Mr. Davis took a back seat. Either he did it on his own volition, or he was pushed to the back because Mr. Christie had no intentions of moving on the side. And now we're seeing very clearly that they not only pushed Mr. Davis to the back at the Salinden Pinling headquarters on Farrington Road, but they didn't let him in on any of the inner workings of the cabinet. Absolutely nothing. They even changed the process of dealing with government contracts. They started this thing called public-private partnerships. And Mr. Davis knew nothing about it. But for some strange reason, on May 10th, the people spoke. And the only one of any notoriety that was left standing of the crew was Mr. Philip Brave Davis. And even though Miss Glenys Hannah Martin was the only female that survived the onslaught, she too is unaware of what went down. But if you really want to know what took place, all you got to do when you see Mr. Leslie Miller walking on Goodman's Bay, you stop him. Say, Mr. Miller, tell me, what kind of situation did Mr. Christie put Mr. Philip Brave Davis in? And then he'll tell you, because he likes to talk. And when he talks like a down-home, grassroots man. He tell you like it is. Well, Mr. Miller says the opposition leader, Mr. Philip Brave Davis, was subjected to a lose-lose dilemma by the actions of men hungry for power. During his tenure as Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Davis was kept in the dark. But in the meantime, though, he was responsible for Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited. And even then, I heard Mr. Davis. Sometimes he was mumbling. Sometimes he was fumbling, trying to explain away the deal that the government made with Power Secure. And even that, Mr. Davis didn't have all the details, because those men who were hungry for power kept Mr. Davis in the dark. And now he's the only man standing in the light, and he's in the spotlight. But I'm still flabbergasted. I need you to help me this afternoon. I need to know whether or not me and you can trust the answers about the performance of the previous Christie administration as provided by the former Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Philip Brave Davis. I need to know. Because, as I said, during his contribution to the budget debate Tuesday, Prime Minister Hubert Minnis gave us some very, very serious, scathing information about how the public funds either misused, abused, or simply frittered away. And Mr. Davis is telling us that he knew absolutely nothing about where or how the cash was dispersed and who got what from the government. And he was asked if he was aware of anything related to a Mr. Jonathan Ash's contract, the man who got $8.8 million in hurricane cleanup cash. Mr. Davis was asked if he was aware of anything related to Mr. Ash's contract when he was Minister of Works. Mr. Davis said no. He said it never came before him. The time he was made aware of the matter was when he heard it in Parliament. And he said, what he's saying is hurricane relief is a special effort and has a process of its own. And in an effort to facilitate and expedite the recovery efforts, Mr. Gibson, Shane Gibson, was appointed specifically for that matter. Mr. Davis said his ministry, the Ministry of Works, had some technical responsibilities, some oversight, to ensure that value was given for money. But he said he was advised that his ministry also should have been involved in the selection of the contractors. But it did not come to his attention. None of it, he said, came to his attention. And then they had a press conference, in the office of the opposition in the House of Assembly a couple of days ago. And Senator Fred Mitchell, while Mr. Davis was talking about how things happened, he was interrupted by Mr. Mitchell because Mr. Mitchell interjected. And he recalled, he says, teasing Mr. Gibson about his appointment as Hurricane Czar during a press conference last year. He said, you have to find a mechanism to cut through the bureaucracy. You hear that? The reason they appointed the Hurricane Czar and bypassed the approvals or oversight of the minister and the Ministry of Public Works through the bureaucracy. That's according to Mr. Fred Mitchell. He said that literally was the issue that they were trying to resolve. How quickly can we get this thing up so people would stop complaining about how quickly they could get hurricane relief? Well, although he did not know how Mr. Ash received his contracts, Mr. Davis did say that during hurricane restoration efforts, little bidding took place because of the urgent need to clean up the islands. The contractors, the work, and the ability to perform, he says, was well known to the technical officers of the Ministry of Works. But as far as he was aware, connected to the PLP. He says he was advised the company had the equipment, and in an effort to ensure that the hurricane cleanup was done quickly and more effectively, a contractor with expertise and skills and equipment was awarded the work. And that contractor was Ash Enterprises. He said, Mr. Davis, that some of the money which was paid to Mr. Ash was paid to the subcontractors and the suppliers who assisted him in the cleanup that he supervised. How did Mr. Davis know that fact when he tells me that he had no idea, no information concerning how Mr. Ash got the job and how he got paid? He said he didn't know how many subcontractors were hired by one Mr. Ash, but he was advised that the country got value for money. And I'm going to ask you once again, my listeners up there, can you trust the answers on this matter about the performance of the previous Christie administration as provided by the former Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Philip Brave Davis? Because Dr. Minnis says there were 46 transactions made to Mr. Ash through several of his companies, totaling $7.056 million. And the Prime Minister revealed that at least 2 separate instances, Mr. Ash received multiple checks in one day. He also received $151,000 on May 9th, the day before the general election. And he said, overall, Mr. Ash pocketed $8.113 million. On top of that, 2 of Mr. Ash's companies were not registered with the Registrar General, and 1 was registered only in February of this year. Remember, Hurricane Matthew devastated North Andros, Grand Bahama, and wreaked havoc in New Providence. And the companies were not registered, but Mr. Ash got the lion's share of the work. But Mr. Davis is saying all that information that the Prime Minister provided to us in the House Assembly on Tuesday was irrelevant. It was irrelevant. He said the Prime Minister was out there grasping at straws, and that all those things that he told the Bahamian people were not necessary. Mr. Davis criticized the Prime Minister for bringing private people's business into political debates. He said he didn't think it was right for the Prime Minister to get up in Parliament, call people's names without real allegations being made. Well, he said if the contract was awarded, $8 million was paid, then next? What's next? Tell me who. What next are you going to find out? What are you saying about it? If you're saying something was wrong, then have an investigation. Put it right where it belongs. But in the meantime, stop grasping at straws. But I want to ask you once again, can you trust the answers about the performance of the previous Christie administration as being provided to us by the former Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis because he says he knows nothing about how the money was spent. Ask Shane Gibson. Ask former Prime Minister Perry Christie. Somebody should know. Straight Talk. Coming back.
And efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction. The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road.
Peanuts! Extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken $5.99 special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again. For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 Thigh Snack Special.
I tell you.
Sammy's $5.99 Thigh Snack Special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, that included. For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. This is Straight Talk with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Free Talk Friday. I want to welcome you if you're just joining us. I believe we have a $5 phone card voucher to give away, so we're going to give you a question later on as we continue the show. As you heard, my colleague Martin Aubrey, he spoke at length about what's going on with Mr. Davis and his denial that he don't know what was going on with all these payoffs and so forth. But of course, you don't have to talk about what we're talking about today. That's why it's Free Talk Friday. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And the phone lines are open. Let me give you those numbers again. 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. Or you can WhatsApp or text us at 552-7902. That's 552-7902. So the phones are open. You can give us a call. Let us know what you think about what transpired this week. Of course, there's been a lot of revelations, a lot of stunning bombshell reveal. Let us know what you think. Let us give us your comments. And again, like I said, this is Free Talk Friday. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272. 326-0272 or 552-7902. 552-7902. Let me just advise you that Global also have an app that you can download on your smartphone. If you want to get our app, you can download it. Just go to the App Store, look for the Global 99.5 FM studio, and you can download it on your phone and your smartphone, and you can listen in right on your phone. We have a call on the line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you all fine gentlemen doing?
We're doing great. How about you?
Good, man. It's always good to hear from you all. Did you all throw Mr. Davis under the bus while all this was going on, or what?
If you threw him under the bus?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same as though you don't know what was happening.
Well, Mr. Davis, you remember now, Mr. Davis was in direct competition with the Prime Minister. He wanted to be Prime Minister. He wanted to be leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. Well, according to the way that it happened, he's now leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, but not with the blessings of former Prime Minister Perry Christie. And so, well, we can tell you something as we go on. Mr. Former Member of Parliament for Angliston, Mr. Philip Galanis, said that some people hijacked the PLP. The PLP was hijacked. So he said that he himself is shocked by the revelation, and he's urging the new Free National Movement government, the People's Government, to let the chips fall where it may. Because he said he is appalled, he was shocked by the revelation, and even though he is a PLP, he said that the PLP has been hijacked by a few people. Now, he didn't call the names of those people who he think that has hijacked the Progressive Liberal Party, but certainly said, and even if you listen to what Leslie Miller said there are a few ministers who were close to former Prime Minister Perry Christie that were doing their own thing.
Yes, and by the process of elimination, people like Michael Alcides, people like Dr. Michael Darville, and maybe one other person will not be doing those kinds of things as far as Mr. Miller was concerned. So if you leave the others in place, pull Mr. Alcides out, pull Michael Darville out, pull Damian Gomez out, and what and who are you left with? Those were the ones, he says, that were doing the most damage. And Mr. Christie, as Prime Minister, allowed each one to do as they pleased when they wanted to. He says there was a select few in the cabinet that they saw their close bonds with Mr. Christie as a ticket. Smartly.
He's gone? All right, well.
What a day.
Popular radio show talk host, Arlen Bodie, say, I was blind, but now I can see.
Who else? Who else? Who else?
He says the scales has been removed from his eyes.
Who else can see?
He said, and let me read it, as a lifelong supporter of the now defunct and badly demoralized Progressive Liberal Party, I profusely apologize to the good people of our wonderful nation for being a co-conspirator with the party and its then leadership cadre in selling a patently bogus agenda back in 2012. The PLP, as I used to know it, is no more and started to vanish in the last year of the Gold Rush administration. The startling revelations made by the Honorable Dr. Hubert A. Minnis, F&M Kalani, our Prime Minister, during his budget communication brought down the scales from my eyes. I was once politically blind, but now I am able to see clearly again.
My Lord.
Oh my God.
What a day.
That seems to resonate, and it seems to be in tune with what Philip Galanis and Leslie Miller is saying. That the PLP has been hijacked. The question we ask you is, has the PLP been hijacked? And has the hijackers been caught? And now it's time to be prosecuted.
Those are some strong words. Yes. Well, he's joining Mr. Leslie Miller, the former Bahamas Electricity Corporation executive chairman, who says that he is disheartened by the things being attributed to the former government. And he would say the majority of the ministers were not informed, not aware that the things that are being revealed, which are now being talked about, that these things were actually happening. He said, there's no doubt in the world that you are talking about the caliber of some members of parliament. You can't be talking about them because those men would not sit there and be a party to some of the things that we are now hearing. And he says, you're talking about Glenys Hannah Martin. Not in 1,000 years. These sorts of things could happen with her, knowing that. These are good people. He called Damian Gomez, Dr. Michael Dowell, Michael Halkias. Good people, he says. And not in 1,000 years. These sort of things could happen with them knowing that they were taking place. They are good people. And to imagine them sitting around a table and hearing the things that we are now hearing, when they knew about it, they would feel how I feel when I hear it now, Mr. Miller says. Sick to his expletive stomach. He says all of his head is hurting about these huge contracts. He says Leslie Miller had no inkling, the member of parliament for Tall Pines, no inkling about the things that were going on. My.
Let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How you all doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Man, look, sound like Martin was studying law a little while ago there.
And I'm still in the process of getting my LL degree. Yes, sir.
Well, you put some questions there, man. An astute lawyer would be putting them kind of questions.
Well, I'm almost ready.
You almost?
Yes, sir.
Man, you're doing a good job.
Thank you very much.
Anyhow, listen, what I'm going for is that I was like the word is flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted.
Yes.
Man, I was flabbergasted last night when I see Fred Mitchell could not sit down during the press release or whatever they was doing.
Yes.
This guy jump up, banging on the table and jump. He jump. Listen, man, if they don't put some money in Grand Bahama, big things are gonna happen down there. Yeah. So where the hell he was for 5 years?
He was flying, man.
Huh?
You remember?
You forget it was jet setting?
Flying.
Oh, it's jet setting.
He's been all around the world
So he didn't know Grand
on
Bahama.
behalf of the people of the Bahamas.
So did he not know that Grand Bahama needed someone when he was in office?
He could have contributed to some of that money.
Not only that, I could almost guarantee you, this guy was in Grand Bahama and Bimini almost every weekend when he was in someplace else.
He loved Bimini and Exuma.
So, okay, that's 3 places he was. So why did he not know that Grand Bahama needed money? Couldn't he have diverted that $8 million from Mr. Ash to Grand Bahama?
Well, the Minister for Grand Bahama in the Senate today, Senator, the Honorable Dr. Michael Dowell, reminded the Minister for Grand Bahama, Mr. Kwesi Thompson, that Grand Bahama needs much, much more money.
These fellas, I don't understand how they could fix their mouth to say that. The FNM came to power on May 10th. Well, really not 10th, maybe 11th. Let's call it 11th because the result wasn't certified until 11th. They never met in the House of Assembly until on the 24th. So these young men have not had a full month on the job. Not a full month. What would they expect them to be doing? Huh? They now complain about the fellas that may have no plan. They get a plan when they come hoping that they will find maybe 10 or 15 million in the treasury and they ain't find nothing. What you can plan with?
Well, you see, it's max hypocrisy. Remember, it's the same thing that when the Progressive Liberal Party came to power in 2012, they said they were going to be ready from day one. But you remember the criticisms level against them? All they spent was about for a whole almost a year, 2 years, criticizing and saying how broke Hubert Ingram government left the country. Remember that?
$100 million over.
Did you see them had any plan to? Did they had any plan to govern?
No, Bishop, you're wrong with that.
I wrong?
Yeah, they criticized the FNM for 5 solid years.
All right, but I was trying to be a little nice to them.
5 solid years.
I was trying to be a little nice to them.
Even up to the day of the election, they was criticizing the FNM Take him. But Hubert warned everybody. I must give it to Hubert Ingram. He must be a prophet.
No, he knows what's going on.
Well,
Not only that.
I'm gonna.
In 2012.
Yes.
In 2012, during the campaign, Hubert said, if you let these fellas back in, they can carry the cookie jar.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
These fellas them took the cookie jar and break it up.
And he told you just a couple of weeks ago that if you want to know what went down, you have to vote them out. And that is what the Bahamian has done. And now you're finding out every single thing that was done.
Now, and what the president prime minister need to do is to find out where that $880-something thousand went.
Mm-hmm.
That they tried to come back and explain, say, oh, was an overpaid to the vendor.
Right.
Did they get the money back from the vendor?
Well, I don't think they got it back.
Oh.
And they can get it back.
Huh?
I don't think they can get it back either.
No, but see, I'm saying these are the things that, and I don't understand how. Listen, if it was me, you know, if it was me, I would just come to the Bahamian public and say, listen, we did wrong, we messed up.
Well, no, you never get it from the PLP.
Well, somebody need to say it. I mean,
You're gonna get that from them.
At least Galanis, but Galanis is not a member.
Galanis
is not a sitting. I don't know if he's even stalwart councillor.
The leader,
well, he is a stalwart councillor.
The interim leader of the PLP, Mr. Philip Brave Davis, is saying, "Are you not satisfied with the punishment on May 10th?"
No, man, that ain't no punishment. Listen, some of them need to go to jail. You heard they say, if it was me, they would have put me in jail.
Mm. Well, the Attorney General say he has received no official complaint, so nobody going to jail until something happens in that regard.
Well, I mean, saying the Bahamian people ain't gonna be satisfied till somebody goes to jail. And listen,
we have another caller.
For the best way forward, they need to find somebody they could put in jail.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome to Straight Talk, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Free Talk, Bishop, and good afternoon to Mr. Martin Albury and Mr. Nathan Roll and all listening in. Get ready now and call, so I won't stay on the air long now.
Keep you on long, because people tell me don't let you talk too long.
That's why I come straight to the point. I want to put out a request to the administration of Queen's College administrators. When I walk away from Queen's College, because Brave Davis, everybody is connected, either parent or otherwise. This is what I walk away for, so that our white Bahamians will be treated with dignity. And an old scholar who was kind to me, a godly lady, the late Mrs. Mabel Malcolm. Okay? And we need to treat our white Bahamians as good as we are treating the outside, the interference, those international personalities, those who have been hacking into the system. And I believe Mr. Turnquest, when he said he did not know that it was there. We have to get this thing together, and that is one of the reasons why I said that the special unit has to change the format of investigations, okay? There are no corrupt politicians. However, there are perceived corrupt politicians with the digital electronic movement of monies, okay? Now, that has to be resolved. And Queen's College, in the name of Jesus Christ, Berenice Johnson was never a thief, because I was incriminated as I was the bus driver. They never knew the extent of my investigative skills, and they never asked, and I was not going to volunteer it. Please cause this nation, because you all show me unconditional love when I was there. Okay? Please resolve this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. 326-0271. 326-0271. This is Free Talk to Friday. You can talk about whatever topic you want to talk about. We've been talking, for the most part, of the indiscretion of the Progressive Liberal Party. But you can talk about whatever topic you want to talk about. You're going to bring to our attention. 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. Also our WhatsApp line 552-7902, 552-7902. And we have a call on the line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Hey, Reb, how you doing?
I am doing great. How about you?
Everything good. Thank God. Like today, man. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Fine.
Yeah, ain't nobody going to jail.
All right.
Ain't nobody going to jail. See, let me tell you something. Government is continuous. The way how the PLP is giving out their contract, they was doing it dumb. But government is continuous. Now, Ash is a Bahamian, right? Yeah, Lil Mara, they give him all that money over 5 years, right? But the PLP is supposed to spread that wealth out. Nowhere in the world one man supposed to make all that money. All right? You see, that's what I trying to tell the air for them now. If you giving a job out for $20,000 or $30,000, split that in two or split it in three. You don't need to be giving out no big contract. Listen, if I'm a minister, right, and I know this job, and the PS and whoever know the job costs $120,000, right? What I'll do, right? I'll split that between four fellas. I'll split the job between four fellas. Let them share $120.
Oh,
everybody got to eat.
Mr. Ash had a couple of companies.
Well, if he had a couple of companies, right?
Yes.
And I talked to
Had four.
Huh?
Had four.
Yeah, but I see they're so freaky, right? Because not only Ash had big jobs too. I saw Dr. Minister see some names with some big heavy equipment fellas and stuff like that with big jobs too. Now Ash probably get sealed because a lot of people say now Shane Gibson boy and Shane Gibson probably goes with it. Richard Shane Gibson tell me don't know nothing about it. Well, I say this, government is continuous. The F&M is in power now. And I saw some big time people in the F&M get some big jobs. Of course, they mightn't get it like that. But the government is have to give out jobs, especially when they know close to election. They have to give out jobs, but you got to watch how you spend up the taxpayers' money. You can't be doing that no days before election, giving out no $1 million contract. And we need to pass legislation in the House of Assembly when it's close to election, 5 months election, you can't give a contract. I think that's the best thing to do. Because Fitzgerald give it a lot of contracts, Sheen give it a lot, Alfred Gray give it a lot. I don't trust Brave Davis. Even though Desmond Bannister said he didn't know that Christie them moved contracts or this ministry, I still don't believe that because he's a deputy prime minister and he sits at the cabinet table and he'll be the biggest JA in the world, not knowing that Mr. Christie them do skullduggery on him and he ain't say nothing about it. But I tell you all from 2 years ago, Brave and Perry Christie was wiping. Brave supposed to stick with his chest to run against Mr. Christie. But after Poison tell him cool down and back off, his chest gone back in. And then Mr. Christie victimized him in a way. Mr. Christie started stopping jobs from Mr. Davis. And anybody could call in, at least somebody big mouth, Ash could call in, Squad them could call in, all them must get them big job under the PLP. They could call in, they could tell you, because I used to hear fellas wife and say, boy, I don't know why Mr. Christie don't hold out, boy. He costing Mr. Davis don't even want to give people these big jobs. So I sit down, I think about it, right? I say, oh, like how Brave Davis and Perry followed. Perry did a lot of stupidness in the Ministry of Works. You get fellas right now will tell you things, but they just don't want to leak that information. I think Mr. Christie mess on Mr. Davis and call it peanut butter. And I feel sorry for Mr. Davis. That's good for Mr. Davis.
Okay, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, enough respect.
All right. You have another caller on the line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Greg.
All right, we're saying.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I had on the news today, right? I said, he cannot seal the deal for Bama.
So he can't?
Something like that.
You sure you heard him right? Because the deal has been a seal. It's been tabled in the House of Assembly.
No, he says Bahama deal is safe. And
he said safe.
The government should honor the agreements with the resort. All he can say is that any legal agreement entered into lawfully by a former government should be respected and honored by its successor in office.
That's what I was here differently.
That's what he said.
I had that friend in the grade.
Yeah.
I hope I starting to get mad, man. I said, where you vote for these people in for, man?
No, you didn't hear right.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I gonna let you know. But tell them, tell them, girl, right? We ain't gonna grow up politicians so we vote every 5 years for that. Right? Hey, don't forget now. I know she's on the force, and don't forget. I know what happened back in the 80s. But someone.
No, she says she wants her name cleared because some people talking about something about Queen's College.
All right.
Yeah.
But I know what happened back in the 80s when she got fired for something wrong now. We ain't gonna grow up politician, really. So why are you voting for every 5 years? Don't I must don't vote then.
Yeah.
She's talking the most foolishness, right? I go on, Greg.
Take care. Someone just sent me a text. Let me read it. It says, "Hey, bro, one question for you. The guys and I were discussing the ash cleanup, and I was saying that he should have paid VAT. The government does not deal with companies that don't pay VAT. Has anyone asked the PM or deputy PM or press secretary if the requisite VAT was paid by these 3 companies that Ash owns? Because all did business over 100,000, so it should be mandatory." Yes, I agree with you. Nobody asks about the 60. If over the $8 million, that would be $60,000.
But 2 companies were not registered.
2 were not registered. So if they were not registered, I believe that question will be redundant.
And 1 was registered in February of this year. So
look at there are more things that they can pursue as respect to those payments, whether VAT and national insurance. There are a lot of questions will arise.
Whether he was paying for his employees.
Yeah.
Another caller.
We have another caller line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Go. You're on, caller.
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Very, very great and interesting show. 24-year-old first time calling.
Welcome.
I was listening, and I know Bannister, very good person, but I kind of disagree with what he say. I think that it's about time that we have to we will stop allowing these stupid politicians to be making us the laughing stock of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's blatant corruption and mismanagement, and in many ways, malfeasance would happen to the former government.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for our politicians, if they don't, it's going to be a civil unrest in this country.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for us to close this chapter of corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way, we have to make an example. How could you punish the small man to teeth out the shop when the big one is teething millions?
Right.
It doesn't make sense, and yet you look at the young people and think that
nobody should be above the law.
Nobody is above the law, and if minister does not hold them accountable, he will be held accountable by us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's point blank.
Mm-hmm.
One of my problems in this country is the humans seem not to take things serious.
Right.
No wonder why the politicians ride us like fools.
Mm-hmm.
We have in this country nothing works.
Mm-hmm.
Now we had a prime minister. Hello.
Yes, go ahead. We're listening.
We had a prime minister, the former prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
He had $100,000. Mm-hmm. He did not spend in his consistency. He gave it back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did that in a former term. But
yes, he did. Yes,
he did.
We had a former prime minister.
He couldn't find anything to do.
And the gaming, he couldn't find anything to do, and those people suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And the gaming referendum,
mm-hmm.
he didn't abide by the human people.
Right.
And the
you said your opinion does not matter to him.
Exactly. What happened in the other election? What happened in the other referendum? He called us stupid because we voted no.
Mm-hmm.
He literally said the human people are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the general election, they underrated our victory. Now, I'm not the smartest 24-year-old in the world, but I can't see why we as humans allow these stupid politicians who have run this country and they have run it and can't do the basic things right. Nothing works. The roads are garbage. Everything, the garbage is killing us. But they can't tell us the information. I mean, when enough is enough.
Well, caller, I think this new government recognizes most or all of what you have just articulated. How long would you, as a 24-year-old, give Dr. Hubert Minnis and his government
if you'd like to make
to change things the way you see it? And I think that caller is gone. We want to thank you for calling. If you wish, you can call us back. How long do you give the new government to get things changed from the way you see it operating since you became old enough to vote?
Well, I think the caller is saying, he said a mouthful, in that we have a system that's broken. It's broken in that every 5 years we had the same thing coming up over and over. This government accused the next one, all this stuff. And the thing about it, people have made considerable amount of money. They've improved their lifestyle for them, their family, and their friends, and so forth. And the Bahamian people, our economy is getting more and more
and the
in
people
shambles.
could see that we are faced with a grim situation.
Grave.
They can see it.
Yeah.
Things are not touching them. And this just happened for many people over the last couple of months, where this revelation has forced us to see and understand where our country stands today. And many people, I kid you not, they want to see things change drastically and immediately. The young man.
How much time?
What timeline you gonna give this new administration to see
the people's government? How much time you gonna give them?
Effective, meaningful change
before we take to the streets and before we demand.
And he talking. Remember, he said, there could be some civil unrest.
Yes,
and I don't think he was talking about we march.
No, talking something greater.
Well, I wish he'd called back so we could engage the young man.
Let's take a break. We'll take our second break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion. This is Free Talk Friday, and you're tuning in to Global 99.5 FM. This is Straight Talk with your host, Greg Colley and Martin Albury. And remind you, this is Free Talk Friday. Our phone lines are open, 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. Or you can WhatsApp or text us at 552-7902, 552-7902. Former Member of Parliament for the Progressive Liberal Party, Philip Galana, said the PLP has been hijacked.
And do you believe anything Mr. Philip Brave Davis is telling you?
This is Straight Talk. We're coming back after you hear from our sponsors.
Extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken, $5.99 special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again. For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 thigh snack special.
I tell you.
Sammy's $5.99 thigh snack special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, VAT included.
See, I don't lie.
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Roasted peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road. LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction.
For fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential, and commercial properties. and all your appraisal needs.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. I'm with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Straight Talk. I'm your host, Greg Colley, along with my co-host, Martin Aubrey. And you tune into Free Talk Friday on Global 99.5 FM. I want to welcome you if you are joining us by way of Facebook, and also those of you who are on the internet, www.globalradio995fm.com. That's www.globalradio995fm.com. Former Member of Parliament for Angliston, Mr. Philip Galanis, says that the PLP has been hijacked, and he still is a PLP, and he believes in the philosophy of the Progressive Liberal Party, but he's disappointed in what he is hearing, what has been told so far. Even though no charges have been made, but he is truly disgusted by what was transpired, and he's urging the people's government to let the chips fall where they may, and to bring, if there is necessary, bring charges where necessary against those who may have abused their power, and the necessary action. Well, I think the Bahamian people are also asking the government to do the necessary, because they are tired, like the caller previously who called said that they're tired about the same thing going on over and over and over and over again, and that politicians must give account. They must be able to give account for their actions and be responsible for their actions. And so that is the case. Let us know what you think. You again, you don't have to talk about what we're talking about. You can talk about something else if you wish. But we have a call on the line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Colley.
And you're calling us back again.
Yes, to clear up that gentleman. See, I deal with truth that ignites love. Love applies justice, and justice equals to peace with understanding and forgiveness. When I was wrongfully dismissed, I was investigating the brothel through Minnie Street, who some of those who in admin Queen's College is associated with.
Where was the brothel?
The brothel is through Queen's College. The files are there. Bunny Jones' daughter is a Queen's College student.
Through Queen's College or at Queen's College?
It's through Minnie Street.
Oh.
Okay, through Minnie Street. Whenever you hear me say Minnie Street, when I was dismissed, I went into the canteen for the bathroom. That both doors were locked. I relieved myself because I had a condition on the side of the wall, and Ja Roll, Philip Ja Roll, who now I think operates Chances. He was the canteen operator at the time, 39 Benaby. He wrote the report, and he was incriminated for raping a young girl at British Hilton Hotel, which was found out to be wrong because he was set up street crew. So when these young people, I have no shame, because when you're dealing with the Almighty God, nobody can touch you when it's time for your glory to be turned on. And also 1138 on Bristol, the $700 you ought to have delivered to the law firm, you did not deliver it there. You have Brenzel Roll, who is brother of Bunny Joe, and 1440 Roll from Minnie Street, saying they're not hiring. I need my money, please, with interest. He's now a Reverend Philip Brister. Okay? And any other money, I need my money, because what his name is, the minister Brenzel Roll from R.M. Bailey Click, say they are not hiring. So please bring my money.
R.M. Bailey got a click too? R.M. Bailey got a click too?
Yes, R.M. Bailey have a click. And see, and when I investigated Dr. Miles Monroe, all of this, but God, he is lifting me through this. And all of the Queen's College administrator from 98 to January 20th, 2006. Good afternoon to Ms. Diggis and of Benaby.
Thank you very
all
much.
have a blessed day.
You too.
I know they will resolve this in Jesus' name.
All
Bye.
right.
Right.
Good day. This text says, good day. This is shameful for the PLP, the former deputy PM. Do not know what was going on. Unbelievable. That party need to be dismantled. Skullduggery, I say.
He didn't know. Did you believe him?
Well, I get another text here that says, I do not believe anything from the former PLP politicians, especially comments coming from Mr. Davis. This is the same person who misled the House on Bamsey insurance issue related to the fire at Bamsey. Further, all the politicians who owe Bank of the Bahamas should be held accountable, and it includes Mr. Miller. It also includes him.
Mr. Davis says the Hurricane Czar was in charge of leading the process. And the Hurricane Czar was the Honorable D. Shane Gibson, the Minister of Labor and National Insurance. You remember Prime Minister, former Perry Christie, told us that Shane selected to lead the charge because
he was the best man.
He was a man trustworthy. He can place all of his trust
in him,
in Mr. Gibson.
Let's go to the phone lines.
He knows how to deal with big money.
Let's go to the phone. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brother Martin and Brother Aubrey. How you all doing?
That's the same person.
Hello?
Martin and Aubrey are the same person.
Yeah, well,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Listen, I listened to your show, but I sort of puzzled in a way.
Why are you puzzled?
With the Attorney General, thing that he is saying, right? He find no evidence of this, that, next thing, and you know, it had me a little puzzled because all these things the PLP do, and now he's saying that.
What are you referring to? Bahama?
Yeah.
The seal deal? Okay.
Yeah.
How many pieces are in the puzzle that you need me to place in this thing for you? How many pieces?
Okay. The piece made
give me them one at a time.
Okay. The Prime Minister said the seal unsealed. That's what the Prime Minister said.
That is
right?
true. The deal has been unsealed. And what they found out is that there is nothing unusual in the Bahama Papers, that any government, even governments around the world, do similar things. But what was the biggest thing about it all was the secrecy that the previous government had it shrouded in. You got it?
Okay.
There was nothing terrible about the agreement or the heads that they entered into or the terms. Those were normal things that a government gives to an investor to assist them with bringing jobs into the country.
Okay.
There was nothing troubling in the unsealed Bahama documents.
All right.
They only had us captivated by it being sealed,
secret,
giving us the impression that they were hiding something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all about. So,
Wayne Manuel told us, don't get caught up in that. They'll be making them look like they are heroes.
Be not dismayed. Okay.
So all these things, what they say, happen.
No, not all these things. Just with relation to
just
Bahama.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. Just Bahama.
Okay.
All right.
Other things we'll be looking after.
Yeah.
Okay, now I sort of understand.
Oh, okay.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Welcome to Straight Talk. We have another caller on the line. Welcome, caller.
Good afternoon, Rev.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine, Mr. Olby. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. I hope you and your family and all this employers and this Rev and your church people and your wife can have a nice weekend.
All right.
Yeah. Mr. Olby.
Sir.
My first thing, I want the people give this government time. You just can't jump down on them and say, do this, do that. Just give them some money, Rev.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which item would you like to see them solve first?
Well, the first item I would like to see them solve for is try carry them to court You can't jail them, tell them to call and try to get some of the money back from them.
Okay.
You know?
Or get some of the property and
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Get some money or some property back for misfeasance.
Yes, sir.
That's number one. What's your second item?
My second item is that's like what the Prime Minister say. When the English go in, he say he can try get his people there to get them things back so this thing won't happen no more.
He's going to deal with anti-corruption
Yes,
legislation, and he's asking the British and the government of Singapore to give him some assistance. And he sent the message back to London with the outgoing British ambassador to the Bahamas.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you have to give them time. Now, Rep, I listened to the debate, started listening to the debate this morning. I mean, Mr. Mitchell is very arrogant. You know, the Minister of Labor got to tell him, you can't address you have to say, man, if he get up and start speaking and don't address nobody.
Because he's rude.
Very rude.
Arrogant.
Yeah.
Full of himself.
Well, Mr. Mitchell is now on another, should I say, a soapbox. He'll be grandstanding. He's no longer in the lower chamber. You know, the House of Assembly is the lower chamber, and I don't mean because of downstairs.
Yes, sir.
And the Senate, not because it's upstairs, it's the upper chamber. He's in the upper chamber where he was not elected. So, as far as he's concerned, he don't feel he got to respect anyone.
So,
but in that chamber, he will find that in the Senate, you are supposed to be honorable.
Well, he's been there before.
Okay?
He's been
there before.
But they have short memory. See, you got to understand how this thing goes. He done been downstairs, man.
Yes, sir.
He done been downstairs. And as far as he's concerned, he's upset because he got beat.
Yes, sir.
You got to see. You got
to beat by a woman.
You got to understand these things.
And beat by a real woman.
You see why he carrying on? Do you see why Mr. Mitchell is carrying on? Do you see?
Sir.
Okay. Now, what you need to do is call Madam President of the Senate and tell her how you feel and advise her that when Mr. Mitchell becomes disrespectful, that she should do the honorable thing and ask him to leave. You see how it go?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Rev.
Hey.
Now, Mr. Dowell struggled me when he tell Mr. Quincy that Freeport need money. And he was debit the money.
Yeah, but he say he never got sufficient money. Now he's calling on Mr. Kwesi Thompson, who has only been given, I think, $1 million to help develop small businesses in Grand Bahama. Mr. Dowell is telling him, my brother, you got to go back to the cabinet and ask them for much more money. But he didn't ask for much money.
No, sir.
Under his administration, because over 300 people still got tarpaulin on their roof.
Yes, sir. Rev, I don't listen
Hypocrisy
to them.
101.
Yes, sir. So, Reverend Mr. Olby, I don't listen to them. I listen to you all.
No, you should. You should.
I'm
advising you, you should listen to everything and you make a decision as to what you would believe.
Well,
some things you take serious, others you have to look at it as being entertainment.
But Mr. Olby, I already did make a decision on them for my vote them out, so I don't.
Okay, that's enough for me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so you all have a nice evening, my brother.
You too. All right. Thank you. I'm going to read this entire, because I think it's very instructive what Mr. Galanis had to say.
Okay.
Regarding the Progressive Liberal Party.
Where could we find Mr. Galanis'
He is on A6.
dissertation?
A6, the Nassau Guardian, appearing today's version and then the national news. Galanis urges government to let the law take its course. Former Progressive Liberal Party, PLP, Mr. Philip Galanis, said yesterday he is very happy recent revelations made concerning the former government's alleged mismanagement of public funds. The former minister told the Nassau Guardian yesterday that although he supports the PLP, he is dismayed and disappointed in the former administration. As he said, there is a need for a new day in the Bahamas. I think what we are beginning to see with this new administration is a clear understanding of some of the things that transpired under the watch of the Christie administration, many of which are extremely surprising to many Bahamians, myself included, Galanis said. The lackadaisical attitude that was taken by, in some instances, the former government, which I think is not at all in the best interest of the country. And quite frankly, I am very happy that the revelations are being made by this administration. I believe that the former administration was shrouded in secrecy. In too many instances, they did not account to the people of the country for the things that they did. There was too much involvement by some ministers in conflicts of interest. I think that should be disclosed. I hope that what we are going to see is a new day in the Bahamas where public officers are being held to account for their conduct in office. Earlier this week, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said the Attorney General and the Minister of Legal Affairs have been asked to review the former government's decision to opt out of its Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Insurance Facility, CCRIF policy, which resulted in the loss of relief payments of more than $32 million following Hurricane Matthew. He also revealed that the government awarded $8 million worth of hurricane cleanup contracts to a single contractor operating 4 companies, 2 of which were not registered. Galanis encouraged the administration to let the chips fall where they may. Wherever there was misfeasance, wherever there was corruption, wherever there was abuse of office or abuse of power, and wherever there was a larceny by anybody, whether it was high-level civil servants or members of parliament or cabinet ministers, I believe that it is critically important, and the people of this country expect no less from this administration, said Galanis. They came to office on the promise of greater accountability and transparency in government. I believe if misfeasance had taken place, then the government should move post-haste to set the record straight, to present the evidence, and let the law take its course. We need in this country a new day of accountability. The former administration did not provide that to the extent that it ought to. So I think an example has to be made of those persons who were haughty, arrogant, or just plain dishonest in terms of the public trust that was reposed in them. Galanis highlighted that it is still not certain whether allegations made against the former government are true, but said, I am appalled and dismayed and very disappointed and feel betrayed, as do many Bahamians, by some of the allegations that have been made against the former administration. If, in fact, the evidence is there to support the claims that have been made in those cases where clearly there has been abuse of office, abuse of power, corruption, or influence peddling, those cases are to be made very clear. But you know, I support the PLP. I support the principles of the PLP. Unfortunately, this PLP, the party has been hijacked, unfortunately, by a number of persons who had no appreciation for the core principles of the PLP. It is unfortunate, but I think it is now time to take the PLP back to its basic roots and encourage those persons who support a progressive agenda to come forward, and hopefully we will clean the house. So he is calling for cleaning the house. He said the party has been hijacked. Get rid of the hijackers.
Well, I would like to hear from Mr. Galanis, because if you can go to the extent to tell me the country a new day of accountability, you talk about the former administration not providing information, being shrouded in secrecy, and then you go on party politics. You told me that some people hijacked the party, and you said it was done by a number of persons who had no appreciation for the core principles of the PLP. And one of those principles, as outlined by the former Deputy Prime Minister, once Minister of Finance, a part of the social revolution, the Honorable A.D. Hanna. And that was to wipe the tears from the eyes of Bahamians. Well,
looks like they brought tears to the eyes of the people.
Mr. Galanis to call me and tell me, name by name, one by one, who were the hijackers?
Let's expose them.
Who? were those hijackers of the PLP. He says it is unfortunate. He's a supporter, but they did some wrong things. And he's calling on Mr. Minnis to let the chips fall where they may. And as I told you earlier, I was trying to find out if you could tell me whether or not we should believe Mr. Philip Brave Davis when he says he didn't know a lot about what was going on. Somebody else is telling me today that Mr. Davis said he don't know what went down, and Mr. Shane Gibson says he don't know what went down. Then the Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie, former Prime Minister, to be held accountable for everything that went down. We need to deal, first of all, with the Prime Minister. Now, who is going to call Mr. Christie? I've not heard.
Did you find him?
I've not heard.
Is he here?
I've not heard anything from Mr. Christie since 2 days before the general election.
Well, he was active after 10, 11.
He was in
Count it again. Count it
He was
again.
in Acklands. He was in the Crooked Island and Long Key. He was in Mayagüana. He was trying to salvage Michael. And I have not heard boo from Mr. Christie since then. But somebody need to call Mr. Christie, because it's Mr. Christie who all the boys are saying
Just the one who he's the one you got to talk to.
Everything stopped at the office of the Prime Minister. They know nothing about it.
OPM.
Oh, that's where you got to go. So, Mr. Minnis,
If you want to know, go to the OPM.
Dr. Minnis, you are sitting. Are you sitting in the same chair? Or do you have a new chair?
Better be a new chair.
You
Don't sit in that chair.
Are you in the same position? Well, you know exactly where to begin. Call the former Prime Minister, because the rest of the cabinet ministers say they don't know nothing about what went down.
This is Straight Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back after we hear from our sponsors. And again, I want to remind you, this is Straight Talk Friday. We have a few minutes left, and we have a phone card we might want to give away before we leave. We'll look at it. But give us your comments. You can talk about what we're talking about, or you can talk about something different. I know you information. You have something you want to share. Call us, 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. Or you can WhatsApp us at 552-7902, 552-7902. This is Straight Talk. We're coming back.
Extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken, $5.99 special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again. For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 thigh snack special.
I tell you.
Sammy's $5.99 thigh snack special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, that included.
See, I don't lie.
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts roasted peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts roasted peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road. LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction.
For fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. This is Straight Talk with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Straight Talk. This is Global 99.5 FM, and your host, Greg Colley, along with Martin Aubrey. And we are talking straight talk. Yes, no sweet talking, no jive talking, just straight talking. We ain't sugarcoating nothing, just the way it is. And to participate, you can call us 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or 552-7902 is our text, and WhatsApp line 552-7902. And we have a call on the line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you all doing?
We're doing great. How about you?
Fine, man. Fine. I enjoying the show.
Wonderful.
But I have to apologize to you because when I call, I just say Martin and Aubrey. I was thinking that Martin and Aubrey was two persons, not knowing us one person.
That is true.
Yeah.
You see, so, but that's
you have a double surname.
Oh my Lord! but what I call it for Mr. Galanis, that was very nice of him because he said, that gentleman should apologize to Dr. Ms. Beg pardon, or the PLP should say, say something for him to say, but he would punch the Prime Minister in his face. But you know what happened? Right now, the outside is very hot.
Mm.
Hot. I was on the Porterski one time, and there was these two men was arguing. Both of them was fully clothed, shoes and their clothes on, and the one on the boat were arguing with the one on the dock, and he says, "When you see me get off this boat, who you talking to?" I talking to you. Who do you think I talking to? See, when you wait until I get off this boat, what I going to do with you? Another one said, "Well, I can stand right here and see what you can do." So when he got off the boat, he walked up to the man, and all that man did was push him overboard in the sea. and it looks so cute with the man swimming with shoes and all, fully clothed with shoes on. So when he walked past the man, and he said not one word. So the other one said, "You see that all you need was just a cool off." So I think Mr. What do you name there? Who said he would punch the Prime Minister?
You mean Minky Isaacs?
Yeah, Minky Isaacs need a cool off. He look at Dr. Minister's body. He can't take it. He just blow on him, he fall.
Mm.
So anyhow, you all take care.
You too. Thank you very much.
Have a good weekend.
Well, we got a text here. Mr. PM and Deputy PM, how are you? We ain't heard from you for a long time. You deserted us.
Yes.
It's the people's time. God save the Queen.
It is the people's time.
Good to hear you back.
What's the people going to do?
We have a call on the line. Let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Hey, how we doing?
All right.
Martin.
Good afternoon.
Greg.
Good
to hear you guys. Right.
Thank you.
For the love of Jove, right? I do not know why these people or some of these people want to make noise when all the Bahamian people want to know, and we are really satisfied with what's happening with the doc and his crew. Getting all we want to know is where money gone. And you tell me what why are Bahamians? Everybody's supposed to be behind dog because it's our money.
Right.
And I don't understand why these people won't be making noise saying dog this and dog that. What? I can't understand that. I am a 51-year-old father of two, and some other people around too. We want to know one thing. The Bahamas is for our kids. This ain't for them or their kids. The Bahamas for behemoths. And anybody calling in, I just saw some talk shows this morning where they running over a bunch of rhetoric and this stuff and why they doing this and why they doing that. The behemoth people just want to know one thing, man. We want to know where is the accountability for our money. That's all the behemoth people. You take a poll right now. Ask 90 or 100% of the behemoth people what they want to know. What people dog them there for. We want to know why. Where did our money go? Who is going to be held responsible for our money? These bunch of millions of dollars, man. If your son or your daughter work for a company, any company, and they made a mistake, they stole something or just the police will pick them up for reasons, stealing by reason of employment. These politicians got to understand that they work for us. If they steal, they have a job. They have to answer to us. They have to answer to us, man. So if they steal while they working for us, why should they not be charged like the regular Joe Blow who getting charged for a joint or who getting charged for stealing a box of whatever have you on their job site? They need to would make them different than us. Why could they be held on such a? Why we have to go through all of this? This highfalutin thing with everybody worrying about. They stole our money. And people don't understand why we going through all this stress. Our kids, we have brothers, sisters, uncles, fathers in jail right now because they made a mistake. These brothers was making mistakes for 5 years. They was stealing. They didn't think like ain't no one could worry about it. Everything cool. So why worry about it? They need to talk to these parents who have sons and daughters in jail because they made a mistake. For 5 minutes, they made a mistake. These brothers made mistakes. They make a mistake. They still don't believe they did anything wrong for 5 years. So anyone who come on the radio and talk any foolishness but this, that, and the next stupidness, they stupid. If they're behaving, they stupid. I gotta now listen to you.
Thank you very much. All right. 326-0271. 326-0271. 326-0272. 326-0272. You can also WhatsApp us at 552-7902. 552-7902. And I have a trivia question I'm going to put to you before we go in the last 5 minutes. So get ready. It's going to concern, as many of you know, I was a former singer in a popular group. The question would be centered around that group. We have a call on the line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Corley.
Good afternoon. How are you?
How you are doing? You know how long I was trying to get you and I couldn't get you all. I said, they must have didn't want me to talk to you all today.
What? You were trying to get us a long time?
And I'm trying to call you on your cell and trying to call Matt on his cell.
Oh, no. We ain't answering no cell.
That's all right. You ain't answer it. You'll answer it after the show, though.
Yeah, after the show.
Well, I ain't got to worry about that. But listen. Oh, Lord.
You forget what you want to say.
I guess so many things I want to say. But
Go
let me
right
tell
ahead.
you something. I can say something anyhow.
Go right ahead.
This is my day, okay? It's
Your
very
day.
hot. It's hot today.
It's a hard day.
And I'm glad that woman say you got to push them over into the seat so they can cool off.
Yeah.
But I want to say something to you. But
You can swim?
No, but I ain't worried about that. I don't go on beach.
Okay.
I don't even know how to spell beach.
Okay, go right ahead.
But I can call you off air because I want to talk to you something else. Okay?
All right.
I don't want to talk to you on the phone.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Because you got to be careful what you say.
Right.
But Fred Mitchell last night, he's on TV running on with a bunch of foolishness.
Yeah, we don't listen to Fred Mitchell.
You know something? I want to say to you, I'm so sorry today is Friday. I can't wait for Monday because do you know your show is the only show I listen to?
Really?
And the only show I called.
Oh, we are so flattered. We're so we're so special. Thank you very much.
That you ain't special, but yours is the only I ain't lying. And I know people can hate me to say this. Yours only too sensible in there. Whose show I listen to? The other show I don't listen to them bunch of foolishness. Check out the man there, run on with a bunch of foolishness. I don't like foolishness. You know? I can't wait for when 2 o'clock I'm telling you all I want to listen to you on. I tell my radio up loud out there and listen to you all. You know, neighbors ask me, say, that woman over there must be crazy.
But you're going to be sorry because our format is going to change 1st of July.
And I'm getting ready for vacation because
1st of July, our format is going to change.
It's hot.
We're only going to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Too hot.
Well, listen, I ain't gonna worry with you because I will not be here. I going on vacation too.
You guys do?
I'll tell you later where I go with my whole family. Okay, I don't want to say it on there.
All right.
But we going off too. I've been for 7 years, so we going off too.
All right.
So you could follow just come on
Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
And that's very bad.
Sun,
Going
July.
on vacation.
That's very bad. Bye. You'll have someone for somebody.
The children are out of school and they need attention.
Well, your children.
The children are out of school.
Oh, you don't want to say that, but your children, okay.
And they need attention.
I hear that. Okay,
Yes.
I hear that. You gotta pay attention to your children,
Absolutely.
That you'll get put out.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you don't know trying to get yours.
Okay, we got another caller.
Okay, honey.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm not bad. I think the government in red line between success and utter chaos. Reason I'm saying that is, and I think every politician needs to be careful of the rhetoric and the propaganda that they steal during the political campaigns, because here it is, Bahamians are expecting one thing from this government, and they're almost getting the exact same thing as the other previous governments. Now, they talked about corruption and stealing and all this other stuff.
Makola, are you bearing in mind that this new government has only been in
no, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. Here's my reason.
5 weeks?
That is a cop-out. Because if you are in opposition, that means you should have had access to all the necessary information, should have done your rounds to every ministry and find what needs to be done, and then come up with your plan.
Did you realize in the last 3 months the Free National Movement was not the official opposition?
When you put out your
you heard what I said?
I heard you said.
Okay.
When you put your
does that count for anything?
When you put out your manifesto,
does that count for anything?
No, it does not.
Okay.
All right,
carry on.
When you put out your manifesto, you're telling me that you actually have. Hello.
Go ahead. Be listening.
Yeah, you tell me that you actually have some plan to move forward, and now when you come in and then you don't do any of those things, you look in the public's actually looking at you as being a liar, because now they're expecting somebody to be locked up.
Caller, I remind you once again, this new government has only been in office since May 11th.
Again, Bahamians are
today is June 23rd.
Bahamians are looking for persons to be arrested for corruption, and the Attorney General is saying there is no evidence of it.
Because he's waiting for somebody to complain. Do you have a complaint?
Hold on, he did not say he did not.
Do you have a complaint?
He said there was no evidence. He said he didn't get no complaint. It's just like the police. The police cannot act. The police cannot act on anything unless a complainant comes in and make a complaint.
Do you have a complaint?
Do you have a complaint? Did you go into the Attorney General?
So you're saying the government who's making all the accusations in Parliament have no complaint?
But the people should have complaint, because a lot of the people know what goes on.
These actions can only happen from the government.
Again.
But you have information. As for instance, I am a justice of the peace. If you have information that you can get on, we can come to me and get a deposition from you, and we can go and make a complaint.
We all know that the public service fund, any stealing involved in that, can come from the government, not from a private citizen.
What's that?
If someone is stealing public funds, no private citizen can go to the...
So therefore you must wait until the investigations, the audit has been done, so that can come forward.
Well,
you can't go before that.
Based on the accusations they've been putting in the House, they're telling me that someone is stealing money.
Yeah.
Now the Attorney General is saying something different.
No. He said he has not received any official complaint yet.
But my point again is, the government of the Bahamas is not...
But you can't get it unless the investigations have already been concluded.
So what information are they putting out in Parliament?
The Auditor General has been instructed... Listen to me now. The Auditor General has been instructed to carry out audits in accordance with the public policy and the law and the guidelines.
On a yearly basis.
No.
It's
supposed to. But what? Have you seen anything happen from it?
But
the previous government.
The Auditor General has also put out
the Auditor General has been given special instructions since this government
forensic audit.
There's a such thing as a forensic audit.
There is. Pardon me.
Ask any accountant. There's no such thing as a forensic audit.
Well, there's a definition for it, and there's no such thing.
What is the definition of a forensic audit?
Are you an accountant?
I'm not an accountant, but I know the definition.
But how you know there's nothing current?
Based on the information gotten from accountants, that there's no definition.
Which accountant?
Well, you need to go back to that accountant and tell them they need to find for you.
You could start Peter Turnquist.
Who?
You can start Peter Turnquist.
He's no exception. He's man, and he could be wrong.
But
what you think about that?
All right.
But what you think about that?
But then,
I'll go with that one.
Everything he say to you, you believe?
No, I didn't say that.
But I'm trying to figure out where you was headed with that.
You said
where were you headed?
You said give you an accountant.
But
listen, we got experts and we got bush mechanics.
Didn't the previous Progressive Liberal Party ordered a forensic audit in the national insurance? You remember that?
I remember that. And he said there should be police investigation.
So therefore, what they spent almost $1 million. Did you say anything come out of that?
When the forensic audit is completed?
Because the government never did anything.
A forensic audit is defined as an examination and evaluation of a firm's or individual's financial information to use as evidence in court. Whenever you have a forensic audit, you have a motive, an intention to take that matter to court. A forensic audit can be conducted in order to prosecute a party for fraud, embezzlement, or other financial claims. That's why you order. That's why you.
Now you could go back to the person who told you that there is no such thing, and then educate them.
Okay, I stand corrected, and Peter Turnquist was wrong.
This is what Straight Talk is all about. We are here to provide information and to set the record straight. Is there anything you have to tell us? We are setting the record straight, and we're talking about perception in the public right now. Okay, well, tell us.
We're not talking about what the government is or hasn't done or what they plan to do.
Okay, and
they said they're going to do certain things, and we expect them to live up to those things that they said they're going to do.
How much time are you going to give them to do that thing?
But here's where I and a lot of people are looking at this. We give the PLP some time to say we can let them do what they have to do, and look at the hell we got in after that.
Because they spent 5 years blaming the former Free National Movement government and they move forward.
I'm going to ask you one more time. Time is running out. How much time do you intend to give this new government to set things right?
They got until the what do you call it now? The second budget, not the second budget, the midterm budget.
All right, so that sounds like
they have until the midterm budget.
That's 6 months. Well, bear in mind now, they are only now dealing with this budget. It's still in the debating stage.
Right, and this budget, instead of them focusing on what they're going to do, all I'm hearing is corruption, stealing.
Have you read the budget?
I have. I have it downloaded.
And is there anything in the budget concerning stealing?
There's a lot in the budget about corruption.
No, you were talking about the debate. What is in the budget? In the budget about stealing? How much money did they allocate towards working against stealing and corruption? How much?
Not a thing.
So crime didn't get any money. The police force didn't get any money.
Well, you said one specific thing. Okay. Are we talking about the parliament right now?
Those are the people or the entities dealing with those things.
Caller, we have another caller. I got to move on.
Thank you very much.
Have a
good weekend, brother.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
All right. Well, I agree with you when you say that, the FNM just getting power. You got to give them time before, you see what's going on. But we should judge them by what has already happened. We don't have a time machine to go into the future, but we could see what happened already, and the expectation of the vast majority of the public was dependent on this bread basket item reduction. And when we see that the opposite was done, that the reductions was made to those who could most afford it, with electric motorbikes and shrimp and caviar and artwork and everything that the poor person in Baintown the Prime Minister said that he is set to uplift sideline, and Mr. Peter Turnquest saying that, well, things so tough that we can't afford to do that.
Well,
that's a slap in the face of the expectations of the people.
Caller, before you throw them under the bus about not dealing with the breadbasket items, listen to this. Just a couple of days ago, some people who are involved with paint and other materials like that was able to talk to Mr. Peter Turnquest and to get the government
to reverse his decision.
You have a concern about breadbasket items?
Why would they want to reverse this decision on paint? Because what?
Leslie Miller had a special interest as a manufacturer, as a local paint manufacturer, and he made a complaint.
They didn't do some things with breadbasket items. Enough of you and me.
Needs to make a complaint.
You can start now. What is your complaint? What you want them to do?
No.
I want you to be. Don't complain. Let's try to bring the change.
What I hear you and this gentleman doing is really making a joke of what this government said that they was going to do. Why does it have to rely on me and my kind to go and protest against this government for them to reduce the breadbasket item? Why would the gentleman before me have to make a complaint about this government being criminals and corrupt for the AG to do something? This is something that the FNM was well informed of. They had all kind of rallies and things saying 85 million missing in Bomsey. Jail them. 43 million missing to the road traffic. Jail them.
Hello? Who said to jail them?
That was rally talk coming from one side? What was the rally talk coming from the other side? So you got to be holistic, man. You can't just be one-sided.
No, but what you said, you trying to pass it off on me now.
No.
Organize a rally and a protest so that we could get breadbasket items.
No, nobody suggested that to you. Nobody suggested that to you. Never. Nobody suggested that to you.
You said it's for us to make a complaint.
No, actually be proactive. What do you want them to do?
What do you want them to do?
I want them to do, and the Bahamian people want them to do what they said they was going to do and what they implied they were going to do. Now, we expected in this budget debate that they would come out and they said, just how the Right Honorable Prime Minister said, so said, so done. Here is the table of the Bahama Agreement. Just as he did that, he should have said, you know what, I promised breadbasket items for the poor Bahamian people to live better and easier. Here's what I was saying about not the reverse to bring in artwork duty free so that a millionaire could bring in a Picasso into this country and not pay 1% on that. That is an insult to people's expectations. That's all we're saying. And so why we can't say, oh, the FNM government isn't going to do anything, when we look at what they are doing, we insulted by it already.
What was the reason that the Minister of Finance gave for the reversal, or
not the reversal, but not dealing it at this time,
or the reduction of the number of bread basket items that will be exempt?
He said that the government cannot afford it. But listen to this. Dr. Minister said in his presentation that since Mr. Peter Turnquest said that, we can't afford to reduce the bread basket item, Dr. Minister says now that the government intends to sell all the shares in Alive. Now, the government has shares in Alive. He said that, by now, if they had sold the shares in Alive, the Bahamian public who had bought the shares would have realized a $4 million injection into the economy already. So this means to me that the government shares in Alive already bought the government $4 million. So why would you, if the government is strapped, why would you now cash in those shares, get $4 million, a one-time set of money, and put that towards debt, when you could keep the government shares and you don't have to spend no more money and keep a consistent income of revenue from the shares of Alive.
Why would you want to keep shares in Alive and Alive? When I recall, if you says you were calling from the campaign, you recall that the former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram asked the Progressive Liberal Party to tell the Bahamian people where did they get the authority from to buy shares in Alive in the first place.
where did they get the authority from?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where they got the authority from, but like I said,
so why would you continue if you didn't get the Bahamian people or the parliament concurrence to buy shares in Alive? How could you continue carrying on something that was illegal?
Oh, it was illegal. Well,
nobody answered the question where they get the authority to buy it from in the first place. Where they get the authority to take the Bahamian people, taxpayers, $70 million to put into Alive?
Okay, but who gives the prime minister the authority to sell the shares?
Well, if you had the authority to get in the first place, you got to divest yourself of it.
No, but who gives the prime minister the authority to sell the shares when the government of Bahamas already acquired them? But
if you didn't acquire it in the right place, in the right way.
But you assuming that was not proven.
No, but nobody answered it.
No, but you are assuming that it was an illegal accusation.
But did you hear anybody refute it? As much as the PLP was refuting other things that the FNM said, did anybody mention that?
But sir,
I asked you a question. No, I asked you a question. Did you hear
that? Okay, my answer is no. Let me ask you this.
Thank you very much.
Did you hear anybody assert that the accusation of these shares was illegally done?
Well, nobody said that they got the authority from Parliament to buy them.
Caller, I want to tell you it's been good engaging you this afternoon, and we wish that you would call us back at Straight Talk on another occasion.
Yes, sir, I would love to do that.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, and enjoy your weekend.
You too. We flat out the time. Well, we ain't gonna be able to give you this. We ain't gonna be able to give you this phone call. We'd like to do it, but we can't. Time is completely spent. We want to thank all of our listeners, all of our callers, our text writers, for your text contribution to our show today. This has been Straight Talk, Free Talk Friday. Thank all of those who join us on Facebook. We want to say thank you very much. Today's show has been brought to you by Doc's Pharmacy, located Robertson Road, by Master Assist, located Village Road, by Nature's Gift Fresh Roasted Peanuts, located Market Street South, by Sammy's Chicken, 5 locations to choose from, by First Choice Appraisals and Sales, by Geneva Brass Seafood, located Eden Street off Farrington Road. On behalf of our producer and engineer, Nathan, and my co-host, Martin Aubrey, this is your host, Greg Colley. I want to say thank you very much, and I want to remind you that coming up in July, our format will be changing. We will only be aired on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 2 to 4 p.m.